First, it's to appreciate you, members of the Fourth Estate. Thank you very much for responding to the call by Nairobi leaders. What you see is a representation of the leadership in Nairobi, and especially those extracted from the Kenya Kwanza coalition. And we have a statement to make in regard to the state of the city county. This is a press statement by Nairobi leaders on the state of Nairobi City County. It is our observation, an observation that is now the view of a majority of the city county's residents, that Nairobi could be facing its worst leadership crisis at City Hall in this capital's history. The dream that was sold during the campaigns of a city of order and dignity, hope and opportunity for all has turned into the nightmare that Nairobi is becoming. Clamped in an ever-tightening chokehold of an arrogant, high-nosed, aloof, and dangerously corrupt leadership, Nairobi City is drowning in the murky lakes of free-flowing sewerage, estate buried in mountains of garbage, taps whistling to the tunes of dryness as storm waters flood our homes and businesses. The skies above the city skyline are being punctured by precariously unplanned, haphazardly constructed towers that know no limit. Because the city sets no limit for any developer who is willing to bribe the approvers at City Hall with cash or apartments and commercial space in these high-rise structures. Nairobians deserve and are demanding for a leadership that has a plan. Nairobi deserves a leadership with a clear vision, a leadership that relies on a well-thought-through master plan as the cardinal guiding instrument that will be informing all policy decisions, legislative proposals, programs, and project decisions. A master plan that is co-developed through an all-inclusive process that carries along all the stakeholders. We need a working plan that prioritizes the quick win actionables, schedules and resources for medium-term development plans, and clearly lays out the foundation for a sustained development and progress for the generations to come. A city development plan needs to be one that clearly highlights the achievements, milestones, and with some coherent communication to the different publics on the progress with the achievements of each milestone. Now, almost 2 years after elections, the city is running Kiuduzo without any pronounced blueprint, with incoherent and disjointed efforts that prioritize only the projects and programs that feed the insatiable greed of the new City Hall kleptomaniacs. The city county, actually, this current city county government will go down in history as the most incompetent, inept, deceptive, amateurish, insensitive, and morally degenerate administration yet. With only 2 years in office, the charges being brought against this city county government are innumerable, and they keep mounting. A recent Auditor General's report unearthed gross mismanagement of public finances, payments of huge amount of monies to ghost workers, corrupt and selective payment of pending bills in exchange for big kickbacks, suspicious accounts, and misappropriation of billions of Kenya shillings. In a shocking revelation last year, a mere junior officer, wielding authority directly granted by the governor, clandestinely approved over 600 building plans against the Physical Land Planning Act, which stipulates that the county chief officer is responsible for approving building plans. That would explain the Kiuduzo development and the unplanned high-rise buildings that are mushrooming and cropping up being plugged in every corner of this city. Such cases of horrific abuse of power only give a sneak preview of the rot house that is the Nairobi City County Hall, further indicting its highest offices at City Hall. The arrogance displayed in the acquisition of private personal luxury assets by the city's top leadership is shocking. Not only is it shocking, it is nauseating. Never before has Nairobi ever been pilfered so brazenly, so crudely, and never before with so much display of juvenile bravado, intimidation, exclusion, and undermining of those who they are not able to pay to buy with their looted billions. Pitting leaders against each other and sponsoring petty squabbles has become the expensive hobby of the governor and his court of loyalists, the loyalists who are loyalists for hire. The City County Assembly risks sinking into a dysfunctional, remote-controlled, ineffective house with the ever-dangling carrot promised to those who are willing to sell their loyalty and dignity for a paltry 30 coins of silver. And we are saying to the executive at Nairobi City Council, let our MCAs go. MCAs do not need handouts. They do not need bribes. You need to institutionalize the Ward Development Fund so that these MCAs are able to conduct their development in their respective wards. MCAs are not there to beg for handouts in the governor's parlor. They are not there to be bribed for whatever reason that the governor thinks that these MCAs need to be bribed for. They need their independence. They need their financial independence by providing a good structure for the Ward Development Fund to be properly funded, well instituted, so that they can undertake their development in their county wards. It is for this reason that we, a representation of Kenya Kwanza leaders, and by extension, representatives of the millions of disgruntled Nairobi residents, want to call Governor Sakaja and his administration to order. We are also calling upon the relevant audit, oversight, and investigative bodies to swiftly intervene and rescue Nairobi from the shackles of rampant mismanagement and incompetence. We are starting right here at home. We are starting here in Parliament. Senate, which has the constitutional mandate of oversight over counties, must process the Nairobi situation with urgency. Governor Sakaja must account to the citizens through appearances before Senate. He must be invited to put the record straight, and these invites are invites that he must honor. There is no excuse by any governor as to why you cannot honor an invite by Parliament. An invite that is not honored calls or attracts a summon. And when the summons are not honored, it attracts the penalties as stipulated by the law of Kenya and by the standing orders of this very honorable August House. He must be invited to put the record straight, invites that he must honor. It is the least that must be done.
We hear that Governor Sakaja is preparing himself to vie as the chairman of UDA in Nairobi. We are telling Sakaja to reciprocate as a gesture of gratitude to the Nairobi voters and step down his ambition to vie for that seat. And he will do this in favor of James Mwangi Gakuya, who we want to elect the Nairobi UDA chairman. Instead of wasting his time vying for this seat, we are asking him to spend his valuable time going to the committee in Senate to answer the queries of audit.
On the impeachment part of it, what I want to say is, and what we are saying as leaders, nobody is interested in impeaching Governor Sakaja. What we are interested in is a functioning county, respect to the county assembly members. respect to Nairobi people who voted for him, respect to the Constitution, that when he's summoned by the Senate, he appears and answers the audit query. So the question about whether we intend to impeach or not, it is neither here nor here. Nobody is interested in impeaching him. We just want him to do the work that he was elected together with us by the Nairobians to do.
Party affairs are matters that we are able to handle. And we will handle the party affairs when it gets to the party affairs. At the moment, we have such a grave matter that ought to be taking the acreage of media reporting rather than what just concerns politicians. The party elections concern politicians. We are here talking about the plight of millions and millions of residents in Nairobi who are demanding for effective leadership, effective and prudent management of resources, but more so a leadership that is in touch with the aspirations of this city, of the residents of this city. The basic for any leader is supposed to be selling a master plan which you intend to execute for the benefit of the residents. As we speak today, Nairobi is devoid of any known master plan, any known blueprint, or any vision that we are working on. So the city is running on autopilot with decisions being made on the fly. This becomes a more critical issue for us to discuss than the UDA party elections. The UDA party elections come about. We are the ones in the political space. We will deal with it. That is open to UDA members only, and it is going to go the delegate way. So it does involve not the entire population. Yes. Well, this is well informed by the information that is being received. For example, it is the Auditor's General's report that opens a window as to the goings-on in the City Hall. And this would be sacrilegious for these leaders to stand aside and watch the city slide into this dark hole that it is sliding into while we are quiet. Thank you, Chacha.
Are you in good terms with Sakaja? Do you communicate so that this is not only addressed on the press, but also on the perhaps in his office?
I can say that we are not in a bad relationship because when any one of us has an issue or an issue that is concerning maybe one of us, we do talk. What governor is doing is now when deciding about what to do in Nairobi County, he consults no one. For a very good example, he has pronounced himself on about high-rise building, 25, 70 floors, houses. Has he done any drainage? Has he increased the piping water, the sewer system? Has they been enlarged? Like all of us here now, we are on a rainy season. Everywhere is flooding, but where he is, he's talking about a 70-floor house, while he has not done any drainage. So what do we expect after those houses are approved? Is he only interested in money that he will be paid corruptly by those people who are willing to do those skyscrapers?
Finally, is this a Mount Kenya issue? Because I can see that more.
This is not an Mount Kenya issue. This is an UDA issue. I know if you have been following politics of Nairobi, you have been seeing even senator. The senator is complaining. Yeah, if you look at Babu is complaining, everyone is complaining. Robert Arai is complaining. No, what we have just done is we have decided to do it as a Kenya Kwanza and call him out before maybe the other side of the political side decides otherwise.
Yeah. On the face of it, there were some great achievements that NMS was able to score. There are also very grave audit queries that arose in the tenure of NMS. These audit queries had everything to do with how they were working. For example, there was a rolling out of Cabro paving in the city. Some of these Cabro roads were being laid on loam cotton soil without any pre-preparation of the foundation. Cabro roads which are now tearing apart around Nairobi and the constituencies. So NMS had its hits and it had its misses. For the Nairobi residents, the conversation is bigger than that. The conversation is what is the place of a metropolitan city that contributes in excess of 66% of the country's GDP as a county. So the conversation is about how do we review the cardinal document, which is the Constitution, to enable Nairobi City County to be able to operate like other metropoles, giving an example of Johannesburg, Washington, D.C. And we had seen that direction in the tenure of H.E. Emeritus Mwai Kibaki, who had even proposed a metropolitan ministry. But the discussion about Nairobi as a county is an ongoing discussion. That's why we are calling Governor Sakaja to come on the table, because in the interim, we can have a conversation as to how these boroughs will be operationalized. If we have 4 or 5 boroughs in the city, then the administration and the leadership of the city becomes a bit more manageable. So I would want to cede this opportunity to members of County Assembly to put in a word. Yes. Oh,
just to say for those who will hear Kiswahili, at least ifike vijana wa Nairobi. My name is Abrani Tenya, nominated youth wa vijana Nairobi. Yangu ni kusema mimi kwa experience ya miaka 2 hapa Nairobi County ni kusema Sakaja ameshindwa kazi, na as a MCA we are planning on how we can do our oversight, but sasa yeye ni kutry ku bring on hiyo pesa ameloot Nairobi, ni kuleta kuhonga ma MCAs are not doing their oversight vizuri. He's trying to manipulate us. So yangu ni hatu.